This is the last cowboy song, the end of 100-year wars. The voices sound sad as they're singing along. Another piece of America's lost. He rides a feedlot and clerks in a market on weekends, selling tobacco and beer. And his dreams of tomorrow surrounded by fences, but he'll dream tonight of when fences weren't here. He blazed the trail with Lewis and Clark, and eyeball to eyeball, oh, why back down? He stood shoulder to shoulder with Travis in Texas, and rode with the 7th when Custer went down. This is the last cowboy song, the end of 100-year wars. The voices sound sad as they're singing along. Another piece of America's lost. Remington showed us how he looked on canvas, and Louis L'Amour has told us his tale. And Willie and Waylon and me sing about him, and wish to God we could have ridden his trail. This is the last. The old Chisholm Trail is covered in concrete now, and they truck them to market in 50-foot rigs. They blow by his marker, never slowing.
While resting one evening by the side of the road, I seen an old farmer in a field he'd just hoed. His face was all brown and wrinkled by the wind, and he was talking to the Lord just like he'd be talking to a friend. "Well, sir," he said in a voice calm and quiet, "them corn tassels need sacking, but I got no string to tie it. Had no rain in so long that the fields is mighty dusty. It's been so unbearable hot that the kids are even getting fussy. Now that grass down in the pasture should be knee-high. If we could just have a little shower, Lord, it might keep the cow from going dry." Listen to me talk and you'd think I wasn't grateful. Why, if you didn't know me so well, Lord, you'd think I was downright hateful. You'd think I forgot about the new calf that you sent, the money in the mail that took care of the rent, Ma's cold is better and Johnny's home from the Navy, and that good Sunday dinner of chicken dumplings and gravy. The new preacher you sent us, Lord, he sure is a fine young man. Why, he's just converting.
I grew up a-dreaming of being a cowboy, loving the cowboy ways, pursuing the life of my high-riding heroes. I burned up my childhood days. I learned all the rules of a modern-day drifter. Don't you hold on to nothing too long. Just take what you need from the ladies, then leave them with the words of a sad country song. My heroes have always been cowboys, and they still are, it seems, sadly in search of one step in back of themselves and their slow-moving dreams. Cowboys are special with their own brand of misery from being alone too long. You could die from the cold in the arms of a nightmare, knowing well your best days are gone. Picking up hookers instead of my pen, I let the words of my youth fade away. Old worn out saddles and old worn out memories with no one and no place to stay. My heroes have always been cowboys, and they still are, it seems, sadly in search of one step in back of themselves and their slow-moving dreams.
He's got a broomstick horse called Dynamite, his very favorite friend. An old steed about 4 hands high that runs just like the wind. There's not an outlaw in the Badlands that he can't apprehend. Whoopie-tie-oh, the littlest cowboy rides again. When the other kids are lost in space in plastic rocket ships, well, he's meeting bad guys face to face with a big iron on his hip. Fear's a word he's heard, but it don't mean a thing to him. A whoopie-tie-oh, the littlest cowboy rides again. A whoopie-tie-oh, a whoopie-tie-oh, a whoopie-tie-ay, a whoopie-tie-ay, a whoopie-tie-oh, the littlest cowboy rides again. There's a cook named Mom back at the ranch. She just don't understand that cowboys always wear their hat in the house and they never wash their hands. They eat beef and beans, not squash and greens, and don't need tucking in. A whoopie-tie-oh, the littlest cowboy rides again. He's got a hat and a badge and a chaw on his jaw and licorice on his chin. He's kind of ladies and cats and dogs, but he's hard on wanted men. He ain't the truck driving drugstore rhinestone kind, 'cause they're just all pretend. A whoopie-tie-oh, the littlest cow.
Hey, well, all right, sir, here we go there, and what are they going to give for 'em? I've a $600 down here, now 10 and now 25 and now 35 and now the 50 now 60. Will they give me 60 now 75, 75 another $85 on the bomb there? There was a boy in Arkansas who wouldn't listen to his ma when she told him he should go to school. He'd sneak away in the afternoon, take a little walk, then pretty soon you'd find him at the local auction barn. He'd stand and listen carefully, then pretty soon he began to see how the auctioneer could talk so rapidly. He said, oh my, it's do or die, I've got to learn that auction cry, gotta make my mark and be an auctioneer. $25 bid now, $30, 30, will they give me 30, make it 30 bid upon my $30, will they give me 30, who'd bid a $30 bid? $30 bid now, 35, will they give me 35 to make it 35 to bid a 35, who would have bid it at a $35 bid? his best and all could see he didn't jest. He practiced calling bids both night and day. His pap would find him behind the barn just working up an awful storm as he tried to imitate the auctioneer. Then his pap said, son, we just can't stand to have a mediocre man selling things at auction using our good name. I'll send you off to auction school, then you'll be nobody's fool. You can take your place among the best. $35 bid, $40, will they give me 40, make it 40 bid, I'm all $40, on we live 40, who'd bid a $40 bid. $40 bid, now 45, will they give me 45 to make it a 45 bid, a 45, who would have bid it at a $45 bid. So from that boy who went to school, there grew a man who played it cool. He came back home a full-fledged auctioneer. Then the people came from miles around just to hear him make that rhythmic sound that filled their hearts with such a happy cheer. His fame spread out from shore to shore. He had all he could do and more. Had to buy a plane to get around. Now he's the tops in all the land. Let Paul give that man a hand. He's the best of all the auctioneers. $45 bid, $1 bid, $50, will they give me 50, make it 50 bid, on a $50, will they give me 50, who'd bid a $50 bid. $50 bid, and now 55, will they give me 55, to make it a 55, bid, a 55, I sold that hog for a $50 bill. Hey, well, all right, sir, open the gate and let them out and walk 'em, boys. Here we come a lot number 29 in, what are they going to give for 'em? I'm at 25 to get 35, another 50, make it 50, bid, on a 50, now 60, will they give me 60, now 75, now 85, now 95, 100, now 25, now 50, 75, now 2, now 3, now 4, now 5, now 6, now 7, now $800 in the bomb there.
Well, he's up at the crack of dawn, putting those big boots on. Pulling those calves in the snow has left him tired. There's tension in the air as he thinks of the critters out there. The grazing's gone, the winter has hit him hard. Cowboy, great American cowboy, big high boots, Stetson hat, and a leather vest. Cowboy, great American cowboy, with a horse and a rope and a gun, he tamed the West. Well, he's up at the crack of dawn, putting those woolies on. The wind's so cold, the chills are running down his back. The cattle ranges froze, and every little doggy knows he's an angel of mercy mounted on a horse's back. Cowboy, great American cowboy, big high boots, Stetson hat, and a leather vest. Cowboy, great American cowboy, with a horse and a rope and a gun, he tamed the West. Well, he's up at the crack of dawn, cinching that saddle on. Storming hard and things are looking mighty grim. There's a long ride ahead that day, chopping ice and the beating hay, 'cause he knows every critter's life depends on him. Cowboy, great American cowboy, big high boots, Stetson hat, and a leather vest. Cowboy, great American cowboy, with a horse and a rope and a gun, he tamed the West. Well, he's up at the crack of dawn, putting that bacon on. Winter is past and the skies are clear and blue. There's springtime everywhere, and the doggies are a frolicking there. And he's thanking the Lord once more for seeing them through. Cowboy, great American cowboy, big high boots, Stetson hat, and a leather vest. Cowboy, great American cowboy, with a horse and a rope and a gun, he tamed the West. Well, he's up at the crack of dawn, putting that Stetson on, heading for the daddy of them all to celebrate. Well, he busts out of that chute, riding that wild galoot, smiling and a rolling his own as he counts to 8. Cowboy, great American cowboy, big high boots, Stetson hat, and a leather vest. Cowboy, great American cowboy, with a horse and a rope and a gun, he tamed the West. With a horse and a rope and a gun, he tamed the West. With a horse and a rope and a gun, he tamed the West. Cowboy, 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 cowboy.
Well, there's always been groups of people that never could see eye to eye. But I always thought if they ever had a chance to sit down and talk face to face, they might realize they got a lot in common. Well, I was sitting in a coffee shop, just having a cup to pass the time, swapping rodeo stories with this old cowboy friend of mine, when some motorcycle riders started snickering in the back and started poking fun at my friend's hat. And one old boy said, "Hey Tex, where'd you park your horse?" My friend just pulled his hat down low, but they couldn't be ignored. One husky fella said, "I think I'll rip that hat right off your head." That's when my friend turned around and this is what he said. "You ride a black tornado across the western sky, roping old blue norther and milk it till it's dry. Bulldog the Mississippi, pin its ears down flat, long before you take this cowboy's hat." Now partner, this old hat's better left alone. See, it used to be my daddy's, but last year he passed on. My nephew skinned the rattler that makes up this old hat band, but back in '69 he died in Vietnam. Now the eagle feather was given to me by an Indian friend of mine, but someone ran him down somewhere around that Arizona line, and a real special lady gave me this hat pin, but I don't know if I'll ever see her again. You ride a black tornado across the western sky, roping old blue norther and milk it till it's dry. Bulldog the Mississippi, and its ears down flat, long before you take this cowboy's hat. Now if your leather jacket means to you what this hat means to me, then I guess we understand each other and we'll just let it be. But if you still think it's funny, man, you got my back up against the wall, and if you touch my hat, you're gonna have to fight us all. Well, right then I caught a little sadness in that gang leader's eyes, and he turned back to the others, and they all just kind of shuffled on outside. But when my friend turned back towards me, I noticed his old hat brim, well, it was turned up in a big old Texas grin. You ride a black tornado across the western sky, roping old blue norther and milk it till it's dry. Bulldog the Mississippi.
His Stetson was faded and battered and worn. The stubble of his beard showed flecks of gray. His limp was severe, 'cause a leg had been torn by a bronc in his rodeo days. He hung around the chutes while we waited to mount, with a vague look of longing in his eyes. He spoke very few words, but he made them count. He was broken, forgotten, but wise. He said life is just like riding broncs, it's a battle. Then he'd roll a cigarette with shaky hands. Son, I'd gladly take 10 seconds in the saddle for a lifetime of watching from the stands. I noticed the cigarette burns on his vest and the remnant of a dream left in his eye. The boy said that he could have well been the best had not fate cheated him of his prize. Oh, but I learned a lesson that I'd never known from this guy who'd been busted so bad. It's better to ride even if you get throwed than to wind up just wishing you had. He said life is just like riding broncs, it's a battle. Then he'd roll a cigarette with shaky hands. Son, I'd gladly take 10 seconds in the saddle for a lifetime of watching from the stands. Yes, I'd gladly take 10 seconds in the saddle for a lifetime of watching from the stands.
He was never known to quit and never sort of tried. His old heart was big as this Dakota plain. He answered every calling with a will of do or die. And he always got me there and back again. For 20-some-odd years we rode the range together. He never faltered once along the way. From first light till setting sun, through all kinds of weather, he was tough as any born back in his day. He was tough as any born back in his day. Now his mane is on his shoulder and his tail is on the ground. His muzzle's gray and he's cloudy in his eye. His frame is sagging badly on legs no longer sound, and it's time to tell his working days goodbye. It's hard to say goodbye to the partner that he's been. He's the kind of friend no cowboy likes to lose. As I pull his halter one last time, I hope he understands. He's earned his final keep and paid. Thank you, girl, for making me feel special, for the little caring things you say and do, for your sweet and gentle touch that always means so much when I need your precious hand to pull me through, for your tender kisses when I'm feeling lonely, and the little signs of love when I feel blue, for answering when I call, for loving me at all. But thank you most of all for being you. For you move the clouds and make the sun shine through. You have the power to turn my skies to blue.
I hope the days come easy and the moments pass slow, and each road leads you where you wanna go. And if you're faced with a choice and you have to choose, I hope you choose the one that means the most to you. And if one door opens to another door closed, I hope you keep on walking till you find the window. If it's cold outside, show the world the warmth of your smile. But more than anything, more than anything, my wish for you is that this life becomes all that you want it to. Your dreams stay big, your worries stay small. You never need to carry more than you can hold. And while you're out there getting where you're getting to, I hope you know somebody loves you and wants the same things too. Yeah, this is my wish. I hope you never look back, but you never forget all the ones who loved you in the place you left. I hope you always forgive and you never regret, and you help somebody every chance you get. Oh, you find God's grace in every mistake, and always give more than you take. But more than anything, yeah, more than anything, my wish for you is that this life becomes all that you want it to. Your dreams stay big, your worries stay small. You never need to carry more than you can hold.
I bet you never heard old Marshall Dillon say, Miss Kitty, have you ever thought of running away? Settling down, would you marry me? If I asked you twice and begged you pretty please, she'd have said yes in a New York minute. They never tied a knot, his heart was a minute. He just stole a kiss as he rode away. He never hung his hat up at Kitty's place. I should have been a cowboy, I should have learned to rope and ride, wearing my 6-shooter, riding my pony on a cattle drive, stealing a young girl's hearts, just like Gene and Roy, singing those campfire songs. Oh, I should have been a cowboy. I might have had a sidekick with a funny name, running wild through the hills, chasing Jesse James, ending up on the brink of danger, riding shotgun for the Texas Rangers. Go west, young man, haven't you been told?
An old cowboy went riding out one dark and windy day. Up on a ridge he rested as he went along his way, when all at once a mighty herd of red-eyed cows he saw plowing through the ragged skies and up a cloudy draw. Their brands were still on fire and their hooves were made of steel. Their horns were black and shiny and their hot breath he could feel. A bolt of fear went through him as they thundered through the sky, for he saw the riders coming hard and he heard their mournful cry. Yippee-i-oh, Ghost riders in the sky.
Coffee from a tin cup in my hand. It sure warms the fingers when it's cold. Playing an old guitar, a friend I understand, can sure smooth the wrinkles in my soul. Sleeping in the moonlight, a blanket or a bed, it leaves a peaceful feeling in my mind. Waking up in the morning with an eagle overhead makes me long to fly away before my time. And I think God must be a cowboy at heart, 'cause he made wide open spaces from the start. He made grass and trees and mountains and a horse to be a friend, and trails to lead old cowboys home again.
The one absolutely unselfish friend that a man can have in this selfish world, the one that never deserts him, the one that never proves ungrateful or treacherous, is his dog. A fella's dog will stand by him in prosperity or poverty, in health or in sickness. He will sleep on the cold ground where the winter winds blow and the snow drives fiercely, if only he can be near his master's side. He'll kiss the hand that has no food to offer. He guards the sleep of his pauper master as if he were a prince. When all other friends desert, well, that dog remains. When riches take wings and reputations fall to pieces, he is as constant in his love as the sun is in its journey through the heavens. Now, if misfortune drives the master forth, an outcast in the world, friendless and homeless, the faithful dog asks no higher privilege than to just be with him to guard against danger and to fight against his enemies. And when the last scene of all comes, and death takes the master in its embrace, and his body is laid away in the cold ground, no matter if all other friends pursue their way, there by the graveside will the noble dog be found, his head between his paws, his eyes sad, but open in alert watchfulness, faithful and true, even in death.
Though the streams are swollen, keep them doggies rolling, right through rain and wind and weather, hell bent for leather, wishing my gal was by my side. All the things friends I'm missing, good fiddles, love and kissing are waiting at the end of my ride. Move 'em on, hit 'em up, hit 'em up, move 'em on, hit 'em up, rawhide. Cut 'em out, ride 'em in, let 'em out, cut 'em out, ride 'em in, rawhide. Yeah! Yeah! Keep moving, 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 though they're disapproving. Keep them doggies moving, rawhide. Don't try to understand them, just rope 'em, throw and brand them. Soon we'll be living high and wide. My heart's calculating, my true love will be waiting at the end of my ride. Move 'em on, hit 'em up, move 'em on, hit 'em up, rawhide. Cut 'em out, ride 'em in, let 'em out, cut 'em out, ride 'em in, rawhide.
We mark 'em and brand 'em and bob off their tails. Round up the horses, load up the chuck wagon, then throw the dogies out on the north trail. Whoopie-tie-I-O, get along, little dogies, it's your misfortune and none of my own. Whoopie-tie-I-O, get along, little dogies, you know that Wyoming will be your new home. Your mother was raised way down in Texas, where the Jimson weeds and the sandburrs grow. We'll fill you up on prickly pear and cholla until you are ready for Idaho. Whoopie-tie-I-O, get along, little dogies, it's your misfortune and none of my own. Whoopie-tie-I-O, get along, little dogies, you know that Wyoming will be your new home. See what it is.
All day I faced the barren waste without the taste of water, cool water. Old Dan and I, with throats burned dry and souls that cry for water, cool water, clear water. Keep a moving, Dan, don't you listen to him, Dan. He's a devil, not a man, and he spreads the burning sand with water. Dan, can't you see that big green tree where the water's running free, and it's waiting there for me and you? The nights are cool and I'm a fool, each star's a pool of water, cool water. And with the dawn we'll wake and yawn and carry on to water, cool water, clear water. Keep a moving, Dan, don't you listen to him, Dan. He's a devil, not a man, and he spreads the burning sand with water. Dan, can't you see that big green tree where the water's running free, and it's waiting there for me and you? The shadows sway and seem to say, tonight we'll pray for water, cool water. And way up there, he'll hear our prayer and show a moving, Dan. Don't you listen to him, Dan. He's a devil, not a man, and he spreads the burning sand with water. Dan, can't you see that big green tree where the water's running free and it's waiting there for me and you? Cool, clear water.
Well, his mama left me all alone with him, and I don't know what to do. She went to the store with a friend of hers, be gone for an hour or two. He's a little old baby and I'm his dad, but we've never really been alone. She always takes care of that baby stuff, sure hope she hurries home. Little Gene, he's my little cowboy, and I'm a little cowboy's dad. Me and Gene always sing this song whenever he's a-looking sad. Ride him, cowboy, move him out. He's my little teapot, short and stout. Hush, little cowboy, don't you cry. It's a giddy-up daddy lullaby I sing for little Gene, my little cowboy Gene. All of a sudden his head popped up and his eyes were open wide. When he didn't see his mama standing there, you'd have thought somebody died. Hate to see him so upset. Maybe little Gene's little diaper's wet. Worse than I thought, what lies within? What's his mama been feeding him? Little Gene, he's my little cowboy, and I'm a little cowboy's dad. Me and Gene always sing this song whenever he's a-looking sad. Ride him, cowboy, move him out. He's my little teapot, short and stout. Hush, little cowboy, don't you cry. It's a giddy-up daddy lullaby I sing for little Gene, my little cowboy Gene. Circle the wagons and hold your nose. Looks like a job for the garden hose. Spray him down and swing him dry. Running naked through the yard, now he's not shy. Out in the backyard, along the fence, the day the dogs ran away, ain't seen them since. Where I buried that diaper, nothing ever grew. But a man's gotta do what a man's gotta do. Little Gene, he's my little cowboy, and I'm a little cowboy's dad. Me and Gene always sing this song whenever he's a-looking sad. Ride him, cowboy, move him out. He's my little teapot, short and stout. Hush, little cowboy, don't you cry. It's a giddy-up daddy lullaby I sing.
I got sent home from school one day with a shiner on my eye. Fighting was against the rules and it didn't matter why. When Dad got home I told that story just like I'd rehearsed. Then stood there on those trembling knees and waited for the worst. And he said, let me tell you a secret about a father's love. A secret that my daddy said was just between us. He said, daddies don't just love their children every now and then. It's a love without end, amen. It's a love without end, amen. When I became a father in the spring of '81, there was no doubt that stubborn boy was just like my father's son. And when I thought my patience had been tested to the end, I took my daddy's secret and I passed it on to him. I said, let me tell you a secret about a father's love. A secret that my daddy said was just between us. I said, daddies don't just love their children every now and then.
It's a love without end, amen. It's a love without end, amen. Last night I dreamed I died and stood outside those pearly gates, when suddenly I realized there must be some mistake. If they know half the things I've done, they'll never let me in. And then somewhere from the other side I heard these words again. And they said, let me tell you a secret about a father's love, a secret that my daddy said was just between us. You see, daddies don't just love their children every now and then. It's a love without end, amen. It's a love without end, amen.